Imagine a world where the year is 1945, but the echoes of war are absent. Picture the streets filled with people going about their daily lives unaware of the devastation that could have been. The air is filled with the sounds of laughter and conversation, not the haunting silence of loss. The world has not descended into global conflict. Nations coexist in a fragile but enduring peace, their energies directed towards progress and prosperity rather than destruction. Instead of battlefields and bomb craters, there are bustling cities and peaceful countrysides. The landscapes are unmarred by the scars of war, and the people live without the constant fear of air raids and invasions. The devastating loss of life that defined the 1940s has been avoided. Communities remain intact and the bonds of family and friendship are unbroken. Families remain whole, their lives untouched by the horrors of war. Children play in the streets and parents look forward to a future filled with hope and opportunity. This is a world where World War II never happened. The geopolitical landscape is vastly different, with alliances and rivalries shaped by diplomacy rather than conflict. But what does this alternate reality truly mean? How would the absence of such a cataclysmic event reshape the course of history? Would humanity have found other ways to innovate and progress, or would the lack of conflict have stifled growth? How would the absence of such a cataclysmic event reshape the course of history? The political, social, and economic landscapes would be unrecognizable, with new leaders and ideologies emerging in the vacuum left by war. The world, as we know it, would be a vastly different place. The cultural and technological advancements that arose from necessity during the war might have taken different paths, leading to a future that is both familiar and alien. From the balance of global power to the pace of technological advancement, every aspect of life would be altered. The innovations driven by wartime needs might have emerged more slowly or perhaps in entirely different forms. The ripple effects of a world without World War II would touch every corner of human existence. Trade routes, international relations, and even cultural exchanges would follow new trajectories, creating a world that is both recognizable and profoundly different. Let us embark on a journey through this alternate timeline, exploring the potential consequences, both positive and negative, of a world where peace prevailed. We will delve into the lives of those who would have lived, the innovations that might have been, and the global shifts that could have redefined our reality. In our timeline, World War II ravaged the economies of Europe and Asia, leaving them in ruins. Cities were reduced to rubble, and entire industries were decimated. The aftermath required massive efforts in rebuilding and restructuring. However, in a world without war, these regions might have continued on their trajectory of economic growth. The bustling markets and thriving cities of the 1930s could have seen uninterrupted progress, leading to unprecedented levels of prosperity. Germany, a nation known for its industrial might have emerged as an economic powerhouse, potentially rivaling the United States. With its advanced machinery and efficient production methods, German industries could have led the world in innovation and output. Without the need to rebuild, nations could have invested their resources differently. Instead of focusing on reconstruction, governments might have directed funds towards enhancing infrastructure, improving public services, and fostering technological advancements. Imagine a Europe where the focus was on innovation, education, and social programs. Universities and research institutions could have flourished, leading to breakthroughs in science and technology. Social programs might have ensured a higher quality of life for all citizens. The standard of living might have risen significantly, leading to greater prosperity. Families could have enjoyed better housing, healthcare, and overall well-being, creating thriving communities across the continent. However, this economic stability could have come at a cost. Political debates and economic discussions might have centered around maintaining the status quo, potentially stifling radical ideas and transformative changes. Would the absence of conflict have fostered complacency? Without the urgency to rebuild and innovate, societies might have settled into a comfortable but stagnant routine. Would the drive to innovate and progress have diminished without the urgency that war often brings? Scientific research and technological advancements might have slowed, lacking the push that comes from the necessity of wartime innovation. The economic landscape of this alternate world is a complex tapestry, woven with threads of both promise and uncertainty. While the potential for prosperity was immense, the risk of stagnation loomed large, making this a fascinating what-if scenario in history. World War II served as a crucible for technological advancement, a period where necessity truly became the mother of invention. The war's demands accelerated the pace of innovation, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. The urgency of war forced nations to pour unprecedented resources into research and development, creating an environment where scientific inquiry and technological experimentation thrived. Laboratories buzzed with activity, and factories operated around the clock to meet the demands of the front lines. This intense focus led to groundbreaking advancements in various fields, including computing, medicine, and aviation. Early computers, which were initially developed to break enemy codes, laid the foundation for the digital age. Medical research, driven by the need to treat wartime injuries, resulted in innovations that would benefit civilian healthcare for decades to come. Aviation technology saw rapid improvements, with new aircraft designs and materials pushing the limits of speed and endurance. But in a world at peace, would these advancements have materialized at the same pace? The absence of war might have meant a slower, more measured approach to scientific progress. The Manhattan Project, the top-secret endeavor that birthed the atomic bomb, might never have existed. Without the specter of war looming large, the development of nuclear weapons and the subsequent nuclear arms race might have been averted. This could have spared the world from the constant threat of nuclear annihilation, a shadow that has loomed over humanity since the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. However, the peaceful applications of nuclear energy, such as nuclear power, might also have been delayed. The same research that led to the creation of the bomb also paved the way for nuclear reactors, which have provided a significant source of energy for many countries. This duality presents a complex picture. On one hand, the world might have been spared the horrors of nuclear warfare. On the other hand, the benefits of nuclear energy, which have contributed to electricity generation and medical treatments, might have been delayed or developed differently. Similarly, advancements in other fields, driven by wartime necessity, might have taken different paths or emerged at a slower pace. The rapid development of radar, jet engines, and antibiotics, all spurred by the war, might have unfolded over a longer timeline. The absence of World War II presents a world where the trajectory of scientific and technological progress takes an intriguing turn. The innovations that emerged from the crucible of war might have still come to be, but perhaps in a more gradual and less urgent manner. This alternate history offers a fascinating glimpse into a world where the pressures of war did not drive technological advancement. Instead, progress might have been guided by different priorities, such as improving quality of life and addressing peacetime challenges. The balance between technological progress and peaceful existence presents both potential benefits and drawbacks, highlighting the complex interplay between conflict and innovation. World War II played a pivotal role in weakening the grip of colonialism. European powers, exhausted by war, found it increasingly difficult to maintain control over their colonies. This led to a wave of independence movements across Asia and Africa. However, in an alternate timeline where World War II never happened, the colonial powers might have retained their hold on their empires for a longer period. Without the economic and military strain of war, these empires might have persisted, delaying the march toward independence. This could have resulted in a vastly different geopolitical landscape, with potentially profound consequences for the developing world. Would these colonies have eventually achieved independence through peaceful means, or would the struggle have been more protracted and violent? Section 5. A different kind of struggle. The fight for human rights. The horrors of World War II, particularly the Holocaust, served as a stark reminder of the fragility of human rights. The atrocities committed during the war galvanized the international community to establish mechanisms to prevent such atrocities from happening again. In a world untouched by the horrors of the Holocaust, would the global commitment to human rights have been as strong? Would the United Nations, founded in the aftermath of World War II to promote peace and cooperation, have existed in its current form? The absence of such a cataclysmic event might have led to a different trajectory for the human rights movement, potentially delaying progress in areas like racial equality, gender equality, and the rights of marginalized groups. Section 6. A world without superpowers, the Cold War that wasn't. World War II ended with the emergence of two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. These ideological rivals engaged in a decades-long geopolitical struggle known as the Cold War, which shaped the latter half of the 20th century. Without World War II to forge this rivalry, the world might have looked very different. Would the Soviet Union, having avoided the devastation of war on its own soil, have remained a formidable power? Would the United States have risen to become a global superpower without the impetus of World War II? The absence of the Cold War would have had far-reaching implications, impacting everything from the space race to the development of nuclear weapons to the balance of power in different regions of the world. Section 7. A fragmented Europe, the absence of unity. The devastation of World War II served as a catalyst for European integration. The desire to prevent future conflicts and foster economic cooperation led to the formation of the European Union, a political and economic union of European nations. However, in a world untouched by the horrors of World War II, would this unity have been achieved? Without the shared experience of war and the need for collective security, European nations might have remained more fragmented, pursuing their own national interests. This could have resulted in a Europe characterized by greater competition, potentially leading to renewed conflicts. The economic and political benefits of a united Europe might have been lost, leaving the continent more vulnerable to external pressures. Section 8. The enduring power of what might have been. As we delve into this alternate history, it's important to remember that we are exploring hypotheticals, the butterfly effect. The idea that small changes can have massive consequences is paramount in understanding how history unfolds. The absence of World War II, a monumental event, would have reverberated through time, creating a world vastly different from our own. This exploration is not just an academic exercise, it forces us to confront the complexities of history and the interconnectedness of events. It challenges us to consider the factors that shape our world and the delicate balance upon which peace and progress often rest. Section 9. Reflecting on our reality, lessons from a war that was. While we can only speculate about a world without World War II, the reality is that the war did happen, leaving an indelible mark on human history. Millions perished, nations were shattered, and the world was forever changed. However, from the ashes of this devastating conflict arose a renewed commitment to peace, a deeper understanding of the horrors of war, and a determination to build a better future. The United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the process of decolonization are all legacies of World War II. Section 10. A call to action, shaping a more peaceful future. As we reflect on the hypothetical scenario of a world without World War II, we are reminded of the importance of learning from history, both its triumphs and its tragedies. The world we live in today is a product of the choices made by those who came before us. It is our responsibility to learn from the past, to strive for peace, and to build a world where the horrors of war are never repeated. Let us honor the memory of those who suffered and perished in World War II by working towards a future where such conflicts are relegated to the history books, a distant reminder of a darker time.